You have been learning jazz for years. You know your chord tones. You can follow the changes. But every time you solo, it sounds like you are just checking boxes. Root, third, fifth. Root, third, fifth. It is correct, and it is completely lifeless. Here is the truth. Chord tones are the floor, not the ceiling. The masters, Charlie Parker, Charlie Christian, Wes Montgomery, Kenny Burrell, George Benson, Russell Malone, Peter Bernstein, they were not playing at the chord. They were playing above it. That is what upper structure is, and by the end of this video, you are going to hear exactly what you have been missing and see one shape that unlocks it all. Hey, my name is Junewon Choi. If you already know me, thank you, genuinely. If you don't, that is completely fine. We are just getting started. I grew up in South Korea. Jazz was not around me. No culture, no scene. No one played this music in my neighborhood. Everything I know about jazz, I learned at Berklee College of Music from my mentor, Richie Hart. I came to this music as a total outsider, and honestly, I think that outsider's perspective is exactly what I can teach it the way I do. Because I had to understand why everything worked, not just that it worked. Nothing was handed to me, I had to find the logic. That outsider's path into jazz is what I share on this channel. Here is what is actually happening when your solo sound flat. You are playing the right notes, but you are living on the ground floor of the harmony. Chord tones are safe, but safe does not sound like music. It sounds like a test. What the masters do differently is they play the notes above the chord. The notes that give the harmony, color, tension, and life. They do not guess them. They see a specific shape, and the shape tells them exactly what to play. By the end of this video, you will understand what that shape is, why it works, and how to find it on the fretboard in seconds. No memorizing tension formulas, no counting intervals. That's it. When I was a kid, I loved the word history. Most people found it overwhelming. Too many names, too many dates, too many facts to memorize. Sounds familiar, like you guys are trying to learn the jazz guitar. Scales, tensions, theories, right? You think many things to memorize it to play this guitar in the jazz, right? But to me, the word history, it was always a story. Once you understand the plot, what problem each era was trying to solve, everything connects. You do not memorize history, you follow it. I teach jazz the same way. So, the upper structure, it started from Charlie Parker. The music before him, by the way, Charlie Parker, he changed the paradigm in this music, the jazz. Later, his music called the Bebop, and everyone around him followed the same direction. That's why we had Bebop. But what he did to his music is the music of his time was targeting, the melody was targeting the third of the chords. For example, All the Things You Are is the best example. And many tunes, their melody is simple. But what he did was targeting the third and stack up the chord tones, like the way the chord is built is the third on top of another one, the third on top of the another one. So the upper structure, we have seventh chord, right? What the upper structure is, put another third on top and another third on top and another third on top. And he did not play the root. He didn't target the root. He started from the third and put the ninth over it. That is upper structure. And the guitarist, the first adopt this concept to the fretboard was Charlie Christian. Charlie Christian was the hero of the Wes Montgomery. He listened to Charlie Christian, and so the Wes finished the path on the fretboard. Once I learned it from Richie Hart and became to realize that, and once I sing it on the fretboard, it is not that hard actually. Once you are willing to change your perspective about the guitar, I'm sure you can see the same thing, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So let's see on the fretboard what the upper structure is. We are going to see it on the 2-5-1 progression in key of C. So the shell voicing is the best tool to see the upper structure. So D minor 7, and then G7, C major 7. And the same thing can happen over here, D minor 7, G7, C major 7. Only difference over here and over there is the first chord, the D minor 7, it starts from root 3rd and 7. Over here, root 7th and the 3rd. And then by the chord goes, the structure, the flipping. So even if you know the shell voicing and this chord progression, that is just the floor. So how to get off of the floor is don't play the root. As soon as possible, get rid of the root. And this should be your D minor, G7, and E minor. Same thing over here. D minor, G7, E, C major 7. Okay? So get rid of the root as soon as possible. And then we can put the upper structure. We can see the upper structure. Okay? So from the D minor 7, tension 9 is over here and the 5th over here. So get rid of the root. If we just play those 4 notes, it's F major 7, drop 2 voicing, right? The same thing over here, D minor 7, 5th over here, tension 9. This is F major 7, drop 2 voicing, roots over here. And then the G7, I said we need to see this voice leading only, right? So just keep everything else and just move the voice leading. This is our G7. Same thing over here. This is our G7, right? So play this, and then guide tone movement, the voice leading, it makes it F major 7, flat 5. Same thing over here, F major 7, flat 5. That is our G7. That is our G7. And then to the 1, we have Tension 9 with the 5th is a E minor 7. Over here, E minor 7. Oh, and by the way, on the 5th, the 5 chord, if we decide to not to play this extra tension and just play the 5th on the G7, if we decide that, this becomes B minor 7 flat 5. Same thing over here. F major 7 flat 5. We just put this tension 13 to 5th. This voicing becomes B minor 7 flat 5. Now, here is where most people get stuck. Not every note above the chord is available tension. Some notes create tension that resolves. We call those tensions. But some notes create tension that just clashes and actually weakens the harmonic movement. Those are avoid notes. How do you tell the difference? Just one rule. If the interval between the tension notes and the chord tone directly below is a minor ninth or the half step, it is avoid note. If it is a major ninth or chord tone above the chord tone, it is a tension, safe to use. So the avoid note ruins the function of harmony. It erases the distinction between chords. You do not need to memorize all this right now. The shape of the upper structure triad automatically gives you the safe tensions and steers you away from the avoid note. That is why it is the anchor. But this works in 2-5-1 chord progressions. So if you guys want to know about avoid notes and or the upper structure chord in or diatonic 7th chord, even further, the secondary dominant and its upper structure chord, please check Bridge Theory, Shell Plus Drop 2. I will put the link in the description. So now we are going to look at the altered tension. So on the dominant 7th chord that is resolving to 1, then you have a choice, the natural tension or the altered tension. I will show you why we want that sound. It is simple, really, really simpler than you have been taught. I don't know what you've been taught, but this is the way. Look at me. So from the 2 F major 7 and then G, F major is flat 5, we go to E minor 7, right? But then look at the guide tone motion. Everything is half step. But look at the top 2 notes. It just stays there and then stays there and then move whole step over here. Jazz musicians do not like that. We want everything half step. That is voice leading. That is subtle movement, and it gives you a really good tension and release. That's why we have this. And over here, same. All right, one more time. Or I can go over here. Six 9 chord for the 1 chord. And then look at over here, this voicing. On top of it is A flat minor, which if we play over G7, half step up the minor, melodic minor scale, it becomes the altered scale. That is just this voice leading logic. This is A flat minor. And then over here too. I had a student who spent months trying to learn the altered scale, running up and down, memorizing which notes, what, where, complete chaos. And I showed him this. One minor triad with the voicings with a logical structure. And he stopped and he looked at me and said, "That's all it is?" Yes, that is all it is. So the foundation for all of this, the diatonic circle of fifth, avoid note, secondary dominant, and their upper structure voice leading, is in my bridge theory, share plus drop 2 course. I'll put the link in the description. So here's your one playable takeaway from today. Take any 251 in the key you are working in. For example, the one we just did, D minor 7, G7, C major 7. So on D minor 7, find the F major 7 shape starting from the third. That is your upper structure, played as the voicing. And on the G7, going to the C major 7, same thing, but see the voice leading and try to see the F, A flat minor triad. And over here, the same thing. The A flat minor is over here. So try to see those inner line movements and trying to reserve it to the next chord. So 3 chords, 3 shapes. That is a complete 251 solo concept using nothing but upper structure. I gave you the 2 choices. One, you can just stay in the diatonic sound, and the other, you can go between the notes and you can make the altered sound, the subtle movement of the voice leading. So what you really do is making a voice leading point, not in just the guide tone, but also the upper structure. That is the jazz. That is the advanced harmony is all about. Making every possible half step. But you should be out of the way of the melody. You should not dictate the conflict, the melody of the tune. So you are not running scales. You are not guessing notes. You are moving through the voice leading, the shapes of the chord. The same way Wes Montgomery and Russell Malone moved through theirs. I mean, I see Wes played this shape and then Russell Malone as well. They are all over the West line and the Django line, this chord shape. Because that is where they got it from, this exact logic. So what you just learned is different between playing on a chord and playing inside it. Chord tones give you the outline. The upper structure gives you the color. And the avoid note concept tells you exactly where the line is, what you need to avoid it, the functionality of the harmony. So you can use tension without breaking the harmony. So Charlie Parker did not revolutionize jazz by learning more notes. He learned how to see the notes above the chord as a unit and make them resolve to the where it needs to resolve. Now I think you can see it too. If this video helped you, share it with one guitarist who needs to hear it. And leave a comment below. Tell me which chord type has been giving you the most trouble, major, minor, or dominant. I read every comment and your question might become the next episode. So until next time, keep swinging. Thank you.